after 1,500 miles.
22 hours of driving.
2 cars. And leaving fall weather to get to pretty much oven weather. We both are here inside the van like melting.
Yeah, it's hot.
We left Wisconsin and drove all the way to Florida.
And it feels like we're in South Florida right now.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's October.
No.
But we're here to tell you it's a sad day for me.
I'm just going to Austin, Texas to hang out with my friend Tyler for his bachelor party, and I'm making a whole big trip out of it. So I'm giving myself essentially 3 days to travel the 21 hours to Austin, and then we're going to be spending 3 days at the Formula One races there at the Circuit of the Americas, and then I'm giving myself 3 or 4 days to make it back. So Mariajosé is going to be without me for the better part of, I don't know, close to 10 days, 10, 11 days.
But there's some exciting people that are coming to Florida. So that's why I'm staying in Florida. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm just going to say I haven't seen them since 2013. So a long time ago. So I'm staying with my mom and the dogs, and Chase is taking a solo meal trip. Hashtag Vanlife.
And like the last trip that I took, it's probably going to be very uneventful up until I get to Austin, and then probably pretty uneventful on the way back.
No.
But we're gonna have a good time, both of us.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss you.
I'm gonna miss you too.
I love you.
I love you too.
Be safe.
You be safe.
You're gonna be driving 20 hours.
You're hanging out in South Florida.
Oh my gosh.
You don't see news stories about driving 21 hours. You see news stories about people from Florida.
Oh my gosh.
It's true. People from Florida are great people, but there are also tons of really, 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 really catchy headline news stories out of Florida.
Whatever. So, I'm safe.
You be safe.
You be safe.
You be safe. All right. You guys are going to come along with me.
I hope you have fun in this road trip.
And then we'll sprinkle little bits of Mariajosé in here. I just stopped at the Travel Plaza here, about 3 hours north of Boca Raton. And I cleaned off the solar panels for starters. Moved some things around here in the van. Went in, got a drink, and filled up with fuel. It is so hot outside. People were looking at me like I was crazy standing up on top of the van to wipe down the solar panels. But that's what you gotta do. I was just pulling in 36 amps off the roof until the sun went behind the clouds. These travel plazas are a neat idea, but oh my gosh, they are so busy. I need to take some time to try and figure out where I'm going to be staying tonight, so I'm going to hop on the little head unit here and open up the iOverlander app and see where I'm going. This has been such a long drive. I've had my headphones in, just calling some of my friends, just been on the phone chatting with people for about the last 2 hours or so. I am 14 and a half hours away. That means I've logged about 4.5 hours now of driving. I'm still feeling good, so I think I'm just gonna keep going. My initial plan was to be out of Florida tonight, but truthfully, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. Florida's just way bigger than you imagine until you start driving it. I've got a long, long road ahead of me.
Before Mariajosé and I met, I traveled a lot of places by myself, by car and by plane. I used to really enjoy the ambiance of a long, late-night car ride. There's something about the way the streetlights leave an amber glow on the hood of the car. How almost everything was bedding down for the night, leaving miles and miles of peace and tranquility ahead. Music as loud as I wanted, or no music at all. I also enjoyed airport ambiance, on a red eye to make it back home in time for work the next morning. The sounds of workers leaving for the evening, few people operating in what is now an entirely different airport experience, or even existence. It's not often that we travel this way now. We much prefer to have a guaranteed place situated before sundown. It's easier on us, on the dogs, and on our routines.
I finally made it to a rest area that I feel like is going to be alright. I'm under 12 hours from where we need to be, and I'm going to make some really quick veggie pho with authentic rice noodles. So I'm going to do that, work on the computer for a little bit, then go to bed and wake up very early.
I've started to prefer using a jet boil over the induction cooktop when all I need to do is boil some water. It makes the process significantly more efficient and time-saving. Plus, it gives me an opportunity to start a flame, which was always something I enjoyed as a kid. No, I'm not a pyromaniac, I promise. But I may have burned a bit of the carpet in my room as a kid. A time or two. Sorry, Mom and Dad. However, I've since told them about it and detailed the rug that I used to hide the evidence after cutting the burnt areas out with scissors. I've also always loved soups, so it's an easy go-to junk meal, if you will, for me when I'm on the road without Mariajosé. Quick, hearty, and easy cleanup. Just how I like it. I tend to sleep with my head at the foot of the bed when I'm without Mariajosé. If you have any idea why, please shed some light on it, because it makes no sense to me.
Good night, friends. We'll see you in the morning.
This is the side of Vanlife that isn't glamorous. There's no grand view outside of the window. No true reason for us to romanticize it. Heck, there's no logical explanation as to why you're still here watching this, despite the consistent calls for us to share every aspect of this life, even the mundane. But maybe that's the beautiful part about it all. That the dream you may or may not have of joining us out here really isn't that far from the reality that we're all experiencing. Or even that much different from where you are right now. If you want the truth of it all, life on the road isn't much different from what life was in our HOA-governed neighborhood. Or really any city that we've moved to in the past. You know, after living there long enough, it truly just becomes home. And somehow we manage to get stuck in the same patterns. Aside from the pesky governing body and bills for neighborhood improvements that we never saw, that is. We're not too far removed from those patterns, chores, routines, and of course, always the mundane. But we have the benefit of giving our time entirely to where we want to be, when we want to be there, and with who we want to share those places and experiences with. Another thing that's been on my mind recently is that we always hope to be an open book regarding our experiences here in the van. We bring the camera along so that we can bring you along. Nothing about who we are or where we are heading or our life in this van is ever fabricated, because we made a promise to ourselves to be our authentic selves. The only difference is that it takes us a few extra seconds to change positions of the camera to capture the things exactly how they would be regardless of if the camera was there or not. And our families are among the ranks of our viewers, and trust me when I say they would be the first ones to tell us if we were being anyone other than ourselves. And that's something that I know for sure we both pride ourselves on.
This has got to be one of my favorite rest areas that I've ever stayed at, and I don't even know the name of it. At first, I was so confused why it was taking me across the interstate and through I don't even know how to explain it. It reminded me of driving to Fiesta Island in San Diego because there are so many little roads to go around. I didn't hear any highway traffic at all last night, which is unbelievable. But at the same time, I think it's because we're so far away from Interstate 10 that there's absolutely just no way that I could hear the interstate traffic if I wanted to. The semi spaces behind me weren't extremely occupied last night, so there were only a few, and thankfully the engines that were running were relatively quiet. I have to say, this is by far, so far, my favorite rest area in several years of traveling. But now it's time to hit the road. I'm a little later than I would have liked to. I didn't sleep too hot last night, but I think that's just adjusting to not having the dogs and Mariajosé here with me. I talked with them today. They didn't sleep very well either. But yeah, I've got some ground to make up.
Slight left, signs for I-10 East, Pensacola.